But that's also why you have more than one game. Like games like these, like like PSO, like Genshin, like Sora, any game, dude. If that's the only game that you're playing, at one point or another, you're going to be like, dude, it's not going to be enough for you to do it. Period. That's any game. So it's always, well, that's any game in today's era. That wasn't any game in the old MMO formats where you had to grind and everything took ages, and like Golden Era, Final Fantasy 11, like all that stuff back in those days where getting a relic weapon, which was the best weapon in the game for one class, took you a minimum of a year and a half. You know what I'm saying? But that type of gameplay doesn't exist anymore. So as such, you can't just play one game and expect for it not to expect not to get bored from it at some point or whatnot, because a lot of these games nowadays are more so tuned for the current society, the current scroll society that we have, like TikTok scroll society, scroll, constant stimulation. People can't focus for a long time. It's like everyone has fucking ADHD. You know what I'm saying? So as a result, these games are built that way. And as a result, it's good to be playing multiple, different games. Otherwise, you will find yourself in that situation where you're like, oh man, there's nothing to do in this game, or you'll find yourself not enjoying the game as much because you're just limiting yourself to this one single game. And games are not built like they were in the early 2000s in terms of MMOs, where you could just play one game, and that game would keep you occupied at all times, because the level of grind on those games was just that heavy that you had to. You know what I'm saying? So it's not the case anymore. So that's what you get with the trade-off. You get games that are not as grindy, but you get games that are not going to keep your attention as much. So there's a trade-off. There's a trade-off with everything that you choose down your path. So that's one of the things that the trade-off was when we stepped away from that type of format of MMO games. You get games that are not going to keep your attention as much. You get games that are not going to, that you can't just really immerse yourself in as much as you could previously. So Spikesu content.